Now that this raid has been inflicted on President Trump, should we be looking for an impeachment of President Biden and Attorney General Garland in the future?
I think there's a significant chance we will see either or both. I think the odds of a Republican House are north of 90%. I think we're very, very likely to get a Republican House. I got to tell you, the case for impeaching Merrick Garland is growing by leaps and bounds every day. The more lawless, the more politicized DOJ gets, the more compelling it becomes to impeach Garland. Probably next, the consequence of the Democrats politicizing impeachment and impeaching Trump twice, one of the consequences is when there's a Republican Congress, the pressure to impeach Biden is going to be enormous.
You know how the impeachment process works in this country? It means if someone goes through the impeachment process, that then the other party then has to do it. That's basically what Ted Cruz is saying there. Because the fact that they impeached Donald Trump 2 times, that means that when Republicans are in power, that has to happen. Because that's how America works. If you just showed up here, you would think, wow, that's weird. I never knew it was like that. Ted Cruz knows it's not like that, but he's not in politics to help people. He's in politics to help himself. Anyways, this is what Ted Cruz has gone through. All the reasons why they need to impeach Garland and they must impeach Biden because nothing, apparently, except that we want to. We want revenge. Here's some grounds that he has for that he sees Republicans can have to also impeach Biden now.
And then in terms of impeaching Biden, look, we've talked about on the podcast how I think there's a very real possibility that Biden is impeached. There are certainly grounds you can impeach Biden upon, both lawlessness of the southern border, the disastrous surrender in Afghanistan.
Lawlessness at the southern border. Marsha Blackburn, also a Republican, she's tweeting out about all the lawlessness at the southern border. In fact, I've seen this so many times. They tweet out things like this to highlight this lawlessness. She said from June to July, fentanyl seizures were up 203% at the southern border. Biden's open border is crippling your community. It's your community, crippling. By seizing 203% more of fentanyl at the border, that means, let me see, seizure means you take it away, and therefore it's not going into communities, which means that tweet doesn't make any sense. In fact, it's an advertisement for the border situation under Joe Biden. When actually there is problems at the border. I guarantee there are, but they don't want to talk about those because that would require some kind of other kind of solutions rather than just saying, look what they're doing, taking away drugs. If you mention drugs to these followers, they just go, oh my God, scary, scary, scary. Just say the right trigger words and we're gonna be upset over it. More about this because more about this border lawlessness that Ted Cruz is talking about, as what Biden is now doing as far as this border situation. It says Mexico, this is from NBC News. Mexico agrees to provide $1.5 billion to help US manage migrants on the southern border. And this agreement was discussed Tuesday when Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador met with Joe Biden at the White House. And Trump's policy was to build a wall and let Mexico pay for it. How did that go? I mean, not that it was lawlessness. It just wasn't doing anything. It was a bunch of grandstanding type of policies and agenda items to get people riled up and not really care about the solution. They're not solution-oriented people. It's they impeached us, now we get to impeach them back. It's like a football game for them, was.
I noticed Ted Cruz didn't mention the Clinton impeachment that the Republicans carried out. Like, it's funny how he omitted that one from the record. But it's Ted Cruz, man. This guy will do and say anything. Like, he literally has no principle. He has no political backbone or standing. Like, he will say anything that he thinks will curry favor with the base. This is the guy who people in his own party find to be reprehensible and just disgusting because of how he dealt with the debt ceiling and let's shut down the government and let's repeal Obamacare. All this fake stuff that he would do in public that he knew had no actual, political or policy utility that he just did to grandstand and make himself look good. And he's doing the same thing here. He's basically like, yo, Republicans, we're gonna have to carry some show pony trial just because I said we should. It's Ted Cruz. He's a weasel. This is what he does, man.
He needs to be out in front of this whole thing as the face and craziness of this next step. That We'll see if they take it or not, and waste more of Americans' time and money. If they even get to that point, because who knows? We like to say things are set in stone. We don't know that yet.